Hi, this is Chris again with LearnWebLogicOnline.com, and in this lesson I'm going to talk about creating a WebLogic domain. Now in my free course on learning WebLogic 12c Essentials, I talked about using the configuration wizard to create a WebLogic domain. And you can still do that. Configuration wizard is the default tool for creating WebLogic domains. It's a wizard-driven UI. There's also another tool called the Domain Template Builder, which you can use to create templates from an existing domain. A template is a way to package a WebLogic domain that you can then use. You can distribute it. It's portable. It's essentially just a jar file of the domain. Templates are great for packaging an already existing domain, one that, say, you've configured for a development environment or QA environment or even a production environment. You could essentially package that domain into a template and then CM that template and distribute it and do what you will with it. And then there's WebLogic scripting tool, which is a very powerful scripting language based on Python. Actually runs on Jython, but all the syntax and functionality is Python based. And WLST provides WebLogic specific administrative functions. You can use WebLogic scripting tool to create domains, manage domains, deploy applications, create resources, start servers, stop servers. The list goes on and on. I'll discuss WebLogic scripting tool in much greater detail in a later lesson. And there's also a lab that will accompany that as well. So first, let's talk about domain structure. In a WebLogic domain, you have a config directory. Now, the config directory is very important. It contains the domain's configuration. Every aspect of the domain is captured within the configuration directory. The primary configuration file is the config.xml. Inside of here, you will see definitions for various types of systems, subsystems, services, applications, and resources. Now, the config XML can have pointers to other types of configuration resources such as JDBC, JMS, Node Manager, and security. Now, the other important subdirectory within a domain is the servers directory. The servers directory contains all the servers that are configured for that domain. So for instance, the admin server has its own directory under servers, and any managed servers would live underneath this servers directory. And within each one of those servers directory, you'll have additional directories for security data associated with that server, applications that are deployed to those servers, and it's also where you'll find the log files for those servers. Then the other important directory is the bin directory. The bin directory under the domain home contains all the lifecycle management scripts. So start and stop scripts for the admin and managed server, including Node Manager, as well as migration scripts for performing whole server and service migration. And lastly, there's a security directory. The security directory contains the all-important hash file. Now, the hash file contains all the various hashes and keys for performing encryption. And it's unique to a instance of a WebLogic domain. You can't share this hash file with other domains or distribute it to another server. It's specific to the server and the domain that it's installed on. And it's responsible for performing all the encryption and hashing of passwords. It also contains demo certificates. WebLogic ships with demo certificates for configuring SSL or secure sockets layer. If you need to enable SSL in your environment, you can play around with the demo certificates that come with WebLogic out of the box. Now, you certainly don't want to use these in a production environment. And lastly, it also contains the LDAP initialization files. When you create a WebLogic domain, WebLogic includes an embedded LDAP. An embedded LDAP is used as a security store for storing policies, users, groups, roles, those sorts of things. The files to initialize that embedded LDAP are kept in the security directory. So that was a really short lesson on WebLogic, on the overall structure and layout of a WebLogic domain. The lab exercise number 2 will walk through a WebLogic domain in much greater detail. So let's go ahead and work on lab number 2, creating a WebLogic domain.